Hey everyone, welcome back. What do we got today? Today's Monday, so brand new start of the week. And what do we have? We had Bitcoin actually going up today, which was nice to see. It had a nice day today, along with a lot of the miners had a really good day. We have a couple of stories to take a look at today. We have one from Bit Digital, which they bought. I'm forgetting the name right now, but it's Enovum. I think it's called Enovum. They're buying them out. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about Google investing into these small modular reactors, SMRs, SMRs. That's kind of interesting that they're going to have 500 megawatts down the line in like 2030, 2035. So that's interesting that is developing there. We'll talk about that also. And we'll just get into a couple of metrics in the miners as far as their current market caps and enterprise value as of today, because things are getting kind of heated here with the miners going up quite nicely, just to take a look at where everything stands at as it is. And then we'll get into your guys' Q&A side of things here, so it should be pretty fun. As always, you guys know the drill, not financial advice for entertainment only. Do your own research, and please do your own research, right? If you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. Also, in the comments, be cordial in there, be nice, right? This is for fun and for learning and things like that. All right, let's get into Bitcoin and the miners here today. They had a really good day again from Friday, a continuation of what we saw. So Bitcoin was up, we had a nice week today. It was up 5.12%. It closed at 66,065. Nice to see it above the 66,000 mark again. It's now trading down a little bit here. It's not down too much. It's down approximately 0.39%, something like that. This orange line here I drew in this morning. That seems like that's kind of like our, if we go far enough back from where we were, where we closed on some of these higher end things, we might need to get above this line here, which at any time was going to be about 68,000 to somewhere around like 67,700, something like that. If we get above that, I think we are heading for new all-time highs in Bitcoin here. When that's going to happen, I have no idea. But right now we are down a little bit on it. And we do possibly need a little bit of a pullback here on Bitcoin, just a little bit based from what we saw on Friday and today. We do need a little bit of a breather. So maybe we might have one tomorrow, a little bit. Price goes down a little bit, RSI will go down, things will kind of reset a little bit here. Because if we look at the 4-hour chart, we are looking a little overbought a little bit right now. But that doesn't mean that this has to be going down. We could actually go sideways on the RSI here while the price goes up on the time frame as well. We could also see that on the 1-hour chart here. We saw this here, right? Where RSI on the 1-hour chart went above 70 here. It went down a little bit back above it, but continued to go sideways. Well, look at this price appreciation here that we saw today as well on the 1-hour chart. So that can definitely happen as well. Something to keep in mind there. Okay, so that's Bitcoin here. Miners, oh my gosh, they had a really good day here for the most part. Quite a few miners did at least 2x on what Bitcoin did here. We saw that ANY was up 11% for whatever reason. I'm not sure exactly why it was up. There's no news from them that I could see as far. Maybe I missed something, but I didn't see any news from them. Then we had Argo just up 2.6, Bit Digital being 4, BitDeer being up 7%. So what is that, like 1.5x on top of Bitcoin. Bitfarms 3.24. That's not good here. We want Bitfarms to do a little bit better here. Cypher, same thing, 3% only, right? Those guys should be doing better here going forward. Cleanspark did good, 2 plus X on that one, 12.72% up. CORZ was actually down today. So it seems like some people that were investing in CORZ might be selling out of CORZ and getting into the miners here. And the reason I can think for that is CORZ is up quite a bit here in the last several months. It's over like 280% up from like the beginning of May or middle May. So there might be some profit taken there. We also are probably up, like 100 and some odd percent from where we were back in just August alone. Now let's take a look at here where we closed and where we ended up here. We were up 87%. Yeah, it's almost 100% since that time frame. So there might be just profit taking happening there. Digihost was up 5.9. DMG was up just barely here, 0.73. Hive was up also 6.3, so a little bit better than Bitcoin. Hut 8 only up 3.92. IREN up nicely, almost also a 2x roughly on Bitcoin here, up 10.21%. Marathon following kind of where Bitcoin was, 5%, 5.6. Mawson up 7.5. Right up also 3.92, kind of low on that thing. Stronghold only up 1%, and Wolf 6.65% on it as well. So Cleanspark has been on a nice little run here. And I think Cleanspark's been running because it's been just beaten down so much from where it really should be. And I think it's just catching a bid right now and heading up higher. Now, where is it going to end up at? Depending on how Bitcoin, I think, behaves and where could it go. Same thing with IREN. IREN is getting a nice little bit here as well. It's been trading pretty low also. So it's nice to see that those two are starting to kind of make up some of those lost territory that they had here. All right, that's it on those. Let's take a look at how September, we're already in October. How October is faring for us right now. We are up as of today, 4% up on October so far. So might be the start of a Uptober here that we're seeing right now, but we'll see. I still believe that October should be a really good month. I'm guessing somewhere between 20 and 30% is what we should be seeing. If we see more than that, I will be extremely happy on that time frame, I guess, for October. All right, but let's get into the stories that we do have here. The first one's going to be on Bit Digital. So Bit Digital Inc. vertically integrates, acquiring Tier 3 HPC data center company, 280 plus megawatt pipeline in major metropolitan areas. So this is actually really good, right? Sam has been talking about this. They are looking to possibly buy some infrastructure, and this would be it. And let's get into the details here. I'll give you guys my thoughts on it as well as we progress. So today, let's see if I can maybe make this a little bit bigger for you guys without making it kind of weird. Okay, hopefully that works. So today that, Bit Digital today that it has acquired, I'm going to try and pronounce this name, Enovum Data Centers, an owner, operator, and developer of high-performance computing HPC data centers for a total consideration of approximately $62.8 million, or approximately 46 million in USD. This transaction vertically integrates Bit Digital's HPC operations with an existing, fully operational and fully leased Tier 3 data center in a major city. Okay, fully leased. Does that mean that they don't actually own the building there? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. I'm not sure if that's the case. They're just leasing the building potentially. So does that actually qualify for them owning infrastructure, or does it, I mean, I don't know how that would qualify. That's a question that I have there. Okay. In a major city provides a strong diversity of existing and prospective co-location customers, delivers a strong pipeline of expansion site opportunities, and an experienced team to lead the development process, and enables Bit Digital to offer new services offerings such as co-location and on-demand computing to complement its existing GPU offerings. So I do think this is really good for them, especially since my assumptions is that they are transitioning more into HPC play than Bitcoin mining play. Until we actually see that they bought some more like ASIC miners for Bitcoin mining, I'm going to say that this is the play that they're going to go with. It's the expansion pipeline. So Enovum has a proprietary development pipeline of 288 megawatts, including 93 megawatts that are currently under LOI, so letters of intent, with respective landlords. All sites, so more lease opportunities there, I'm guessing, with landlords, because if you're going to be buying out, you're going to be looking at sellers. All sites are in major metropolitan areas, and in general will be designed to accommodate direct-to-chip liquid cooling. So that's good. Immediate term plans include bringing approximately 8 megawatts online by the end of 2Q, so second quarter of 2025, for approximately $50 million of capex. So that's not included in this deal here. They will have to spend another $50 million to bring up another 8 megawatts. So that brings them up to a total of 12 megawatts they would have by the end of Q2 in next year. The company expects run rate co-location EBITDA for Enovum business to exit 2Q 2025 at approximately $13 million based on that development schedule. Okay, so right, 13 million run rate a year, depending on what the margins should be really good there. So based on this alone, it looks like it might take them, 3-4 years to pay this off? Well, add on the 50 million on top of that. You're looking at 99, so that's looking a little bit longer than 5 years to pay that off. Let's see, Bit Digital may also place its own GPUs at those sites, which could significantly increase EBITDA per megawatt, so that would be good. The company is tentatively planning to bring an additional 20 megawatts online by year end of 2025. However, development plans will be contingent on firm customer demand and financing options, which would be good. And this is the way that Sam and company here has pretty much operated here in the past, where they get customers, they build out as needed to do that. So that's always been good. Let's see, Enovum overview. So Enovum, headquartered in Montreal, Canada, is an owner, operator, and developer of HPC data centers that commenced operations in 2020. Enovum currently operates 4 megawatt Tier 3 data centers in Montreal that is powered by renewable hydroelectricity. The site, which is leased through 2036 with 2 5-year extension options, features 2 N UPSs, so uninterrupted power supplies, and 2 N generators with N+1 redundant cooling design, so that's good. The site is currently fully leased to more than a dozen co-location customers. Okay, so they're leasing the space here, looks like, to co-location customers. Okay, so maybe they do own the sites. And it's expected to generate approximately 10 million Canadian, so that's $7 million in USD roughly of revenue in 2025. Enovum already has strong demand from both existing and new customers for co-location capacity and new capacity to be brought online. So that's good. And they talk about their experienced team, management commentary. I'm not going to get into that, but overall, this seems like a pretty good deal. My only question is, are those sites leased or are they owned? I'd like to see those being owned. And maybe in they're going to have a conference call here tomorrow, I believe it is. Let's see, conference call. Yep, here it is. The company will host a conference call to discuss acquisitions on Tuesday, 9 a.m. Eastern. I'm going to see if I can squeeze in there just to take a listen to it to see what's going on there. If not, I will listen to the replay of it just to get clarification on those sites if they are going to be leased or actually owned. I'd like to see them being owned. That would be good, I think. Much better than leased. Let's see. That, and then there's a PowerPoint presentation on it, so we can take a look at some of the sites here, and they go into the same thing. Highly recommend you guys take a look at this as well. They've got a lot of great information in here. But here's their site, Enovum facility. Looks pretty nice. Everything's color-coded and racked, so that's looking good. It says here leased through 2036 with 2 fiber. So I'm on the fence on it. I don't know whether it's owned or I'm guessing it's leased here on that one. And then you can see there are 2N electrical architecture, which is good. 2N diesel generators, and then 2N UPS uninterruptible power supplies. Those are good. And then an N+1 cooling on that. I mean, it looks really like a really nice facility. And then they got their platform expansion roadmap. Looks like we're looking at, 4Q 2025. So that's 20, what's the 32? What are we looking at there? Incremental capacity, existing capacity, 20 incremental, so they could get to 32, it looks like, by the end of next year. And then they're looking higher than that later on. So they do have a roadmap for that. What else do we have here? Here's their Enovum management team. Expansion strategies. Let's see. Your selected corporal analysis. Okay. Well, you guys can read all that stuff. I'm going to bore you guys with it. But this is really good. And what did the stock do after hours? Not much. It was actually up just a little bit, like 3-4%. So there might be some questions for them come tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow we'll get some clarifications on things, and maybe the stock will actually do very well. Because right now, like I've said before, BitDigital is not being really valued on their HPC business, which they have right now, which is about $100 million in revenue for them a year. They got a couple more years to go. I think they have 2 more years to go on that one after this year. And then their Bitcoin mining side of things, right, that's kind of stalled at 2.4, 2.6 exahash right now on that one. Let's see. This is kind of interesting. I just saw this. David Boyle, Chief Technology Officer, former experienced IT Director of CyberLogics and Network Administrator at IT and Infrastructure Manager at Bitfarms. Oh, so he used to be with Bitfarms. Interesting. On that one. Okay, but that's it. On that one, let's get into the next one here. So I saw this come through on X today, and this was from Matthew Siegel. He posted this. So Google backs build out of small nuclear reactors in Cairo's deal. So this is actually pretty interesting here. These are the SMRs, so small modular reactors. We can see those here. Those are supposed to be much safer, much easier to build, much faster to build, and just you can put them in more places than you would be able to put in these large conventional reactors. But they do have, depending on the megawatts, you're looking anywhere between 10 to like 50 to maybe like 70 megawatts for some of these, and then some of these smaller ones might be. So the micro reactors, the smaller ones might be up to like 300 megawatts. So there's definitely some potential there for this, especially as the electricity needs grow. But I thought this was interesting, right? Kind of got me thinking again on the miners here. We've been hearing a lot of the miners, maybe not the miners themselves, but there's been a lot of talk that the miners might be potential candidates for like Google, Amazon, or Microsoft, right? The hyperscalers to possibly buy them out, and maybe not buy them out directly, but maybe buy out their sites. We are still in flux on that. We haven't seen anything like that. And I'm sure if I'm going to say I'm sure. I'm thinking that the hyperscalers, if they wanted to get into this and get electricity quickly, megawatts, they would possibly even buy out a miner, right? It would be chump change for them to do so based on the valuations the miners are at right now. But if they don't want to buy the mining sites, a lot of the companies do have projects that they have megawatts available relatively quickly for them as well. They could buy out sites from the miners. I'd love to see that as well happen, but we'll see if that does happen. Right now, a little skeptical because we haven't seen it. When it does happen, I'll be like, okay, this is for a fact. But here's what we have here. So Google is investing in the development of next-generation nuclear power, backing a company that's building small modular reactors and agreeing to purchase energy once the sites start supplying U.S. grid. This is not going to be until possibly sometime in 2030 and 2035. It says here power supplies are expected to start between 2030 and 2035, right? The deal, which will back 500 megawatts of power, includes Cairo's 50 megawatt demonstration Hermes project in Tennessee, followed by commercial scale reactors sized at 75 megawatts, the company said. So that's kind of interesting there, right? Cost on it. I would like to see what the cost is going to be on this. And this is something that the miners could also take advantage of, getting in on these kind of smaller micro reactors as well. Could they build out a micro reactor, build out a farm next to it? And then that way, there's going to be some cost to operate it, obviously, but there might be some huge power savings with that as well. Could that be beneficial to them? Okay, but here it says big technology companies are racing to line up power supplies for massive data center needed to run artificial intelligence systems. Surging demand for power is prompting utilities to build more natural gas-fired plants, undermining lofty environmental goals. Yes. And now we've seen Microsoft here buy 3 Mile Island here recently. Amazon bought out a site in TeraWulf's back door, right, or backyard as well. I think it was 700 megawatts there. So it is definitely getting interesting here with the amount of megawatts that's going to be needed possibly to power all this new AI and everything else that we're going to be experiencing in the next 5, 10, 20 years potentially. And could the miners benefit on this? Maybe. That's kind of my thoughts on it. So we shall see, but definitely worth a read into that. And if you have time, definitely read on what are small modular reactors. This is from the IAEA, International Atomic Energy Agency. Pretty good article here on that, on how that works. And the good thing is that they are actually safer than, possibly safer than large conventional reactors. So that's a good sign there. All right. Let's see. Oh, you guys can probably hear my pup upstairs. She's hearing dogs barking outside. It might be coyotes. Sorry about that if you guys can hear that. Okay. Let's take a look at what else we want to take a look at. Oh, miners, market cap really quick as well. This is updated as of today at the end of the day. So we can see here that Marathon's still the top dog here, $5 billion on them. CORZ Scientific at 3.3. Cleanspark now overtook again, right? It seems like they're going back and forth, dancing a little bit between each other. But Cleanspark just barely took over Riot here in number 3 spot with 2.682 billion, and then Riot's at 2.653 billion. TeraWulf is now overtaken IREN with 1.7 billion. IREN's at 1.6, and you got Cypher 1.4, Hut to 1.1. You can see the rest of them down here as things progress. Look at the enterprise metrics also updated today. It's kind of interesting to see that right now, based on current hash rate, we got TeraWulf, again, being the most overvalued here, 171 million per megawatt, or per hash rate. Core is being valued at 163 million, followed by BitDigital, 151, right? Core has pretty low hash rate right now, 2.4, 2.6 exahash, whatever it might be. They're definitely getting a premium on that, and I don't think they're getting a premium on that. I think they're getting a premium on their HPC AI play. And eventually, if they do stop providing, or if they stop growing their Bitcoin mining section or sector of their business, we may eventually take them out of the list here. But I'm guessing them probably won't be for at least another year to 2 years, maybe. And you get Cypher, everything else. I still think for like Riot, Iris, Bitfarms, Cleanspark, and even Marathon itself are way undervalued compared to these guys here, especially when we look forward into the future hash rate growth for these companies. We still have like Bitfarms now being the number one undervalued here, 37 million, followed by Cleanspark at 38, Riot at 40 million, Iris at 42. Hive doesn't have that much growth. It's got growth like to 13 exahashes are planned for next year, which would be right around where the Bitcoin network hash rate might be 1% of that. And then Marathon 70. Marathon's catching a little bit better bid on that. But those guys I would expect to flip eventually when that does happen here. Okay. And then there's our enterprise per BTC value. Here's so many BTC they mined and their enterprise value on that. You can see your TeraWulf definitely way overvalued. Core, same thing, Hut 8. The Cypher, I would say maybe is fairly valued there right now. But BitDigital overvalued. BitDeer also maybe kind of fairly valued. And then these guys over here definitely undervalued from where they really should be based on, I mean, look at their production here and what they're getting valued for the BTC production itself. Kind of a little bit ridiculous there. But I think they're going to make up for that here in the next couple months if things play out the way I think they will. All right, so that's it on that. Let's get into your guys' Q&A side of things here, and we'll call it a day. We're going 19 minutes into it. We should be pretty good on time. All right, let me see if I can find up some questions up here. You guys have been commenting quite a bit here, and as always, be kind in the comments, not only to me, but also to each other. Let me see where we at here. Okay, those are the beginning comments. Zipara asks, if anyone has Bitfarms as their biggest holding, I'm here with you. It's not my biggest. I think it's in my third spot for them. Cleanspark's my biggest, followed by IREN. No, actually, Bitfarms and IREN. I think those are, yeah. So IREN, Bitfarms is actually my second position. Okay, let's see. What else we got here? Okay. Kpar asks, I wonder if we get some updates soon regarding missed exahash or if we need to wait until November. I think if they get energized here and get a nice increase, they might provide something. Otherwise, we may have to wait until the beginning of November for Bitfarms. Let's see. Par says, could come out of left field and let investors know they are on track for 25 exahash this year instead. That would change sentiment. Might be wishful thinking. Yeah, that would change sentiment, definitely. Let's see. Sarthak, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. My average on Cleanspark is around 13. Didn't have money so far, but now is still a good time to buy average down. I believe so. I think if we're getting into the bull run like we're supposed to be getting into it historically, then yes, I think this is still a really good time. You might still get an easy 3 to 5x on these guys here in the next year, if not even more. I'm being conservative on the numbers here. Wild Pump today, is this from the change in rules in China? I'm not sure. I didn't even see that there were changing rules in China. Okay. Let's see, MicroStrategy was down today, but it has been overbought for weeks. Yes, eventually it will come back down to its normal 2 to 3x on top of what Bitcoin has been doing. It's been, doing really well, but it's gone up too high, I think. It needs to come down a little bit. Okay. What else we got here? Brad says, bow down a bit. Digital, Samir is king. Yeah, they're doing the right things, I think. So they're doing, will they get valued on that? Time will tell, right? We'll see in the next couple of days. Okay, M asks, hey Seb, will we finally see Bitfarms run? Even Hive is moving. Problem is their delivery, I think. Possibly, yeah. I mean, even based on where they are now, they should be higher than they are. I don't know what's going on with that stock, really, to be honest with you guys. My expectation is that it should be at least a minimum 2x of where they are right now. They're not there, even that. I wonder if it's still the hangover from Riot still on there, possibly. Not sure. Okay. Okay, China has turned on their dollars to dollars printers to match what the U.S. Fed is doing. So they're printing money as well. Let's see, how much higher can Cleanspark go, basically? I think Cleanspark, depending on your time frame, if you're looking the next couple of months, I would say, depending on where Bitcoin goes. It always depends on where Bitcoin goes. Bitcoin goes on a tear here in the next 2-3 months. We get to close to 100,000, 110,000, whatever it might be. They should be at least, probably, I'm guessing, somewhere 3 to 5x from where they are right now, somewhere around there. They could go higher than that. Let's see. Brad says, Bitfarms, the night is always darkest before dawn. Only true believers will be rewarded. I hope you're right, because I've been buying quite a bit of it here over the last couple of weeks as well. Let's see. Kaz says, Bitfarms needs to get their target exahash, otherwise not much momentum. Yeah, they need to get that going. But like I said in yesterday's streams, Ben has been pretty open about that a lot of their growth is going to be in this current quarter that we're in, more like in November or December, as well as they bring on the sites in Paraguay. Okay, let's see. Okay, I definitely can't pronounce your name here. The stock prices of Cleanspark and IREN have both dropped significantly in the past few weeks. Why has Cleanspark stock been performing better than IREN's in the past few days? Growth. They came out that they're already at 30 exahash, right? IREN's at only 21 exahash right now. and targeting to get to 31 exahash by the end of the year. Cleanspark's already at 30 exahash, plus they have HODL position, which IREN does not. But IREN might have a AI customer there. So that's why I think it's running away from IREN a little bit right now. Let's see, 9.7 says you can lease and own the building. Okay, so you're leasing the land and own the building. What happens when the lease ends at that point? Do you no longer own the building? Or do you have to sell the building? How does that work? I'm not in real estate, so I'm questioning these things. Okay. Average day every day, 27,346 shares of Bitfarms. Tell me something that's most bullish about them, just so I don't sell my shares and kick myself in the head. I mean, geez, they've done a lot of great things over the last, I would say, probably 4 months, maybe 5 months, depending when Ben was hired. I can't remember when Ben was hired. Getting Ben to become the CEO, that was great. Them buying Stronghold, that's great. That gives them more pipeline of growth going forward. And changing the board member seats as well, getting some of the old dogs out of there was a good thing as well. So there's a lot of good things happening for them. I think it's just now getting Riot off their backs. That should help even more. Let's see. Kaz says they got the most competent CEO in the industry with Ben. Yeah, I believe so. Yep. So everybody's commenting about that here. Former CEO lawsuit settled. Yes, I'd like to know how much they actually paid him, because I think he was asking like for some 20-some-odd million. I'm sure they didn't pay him that much, but I'm sure they've settled lower than that. But still like to know how much they paid him. Let's see. Your board is much stronger than 6 months ago. Yep, I agree. Yeah, but most of the FUD involved with corporate governances and issues, and that's quickly improving. Yeah, there's just a lot of good things going for them, but they're not being valued on it right now. Okay, let's see what else do we have here. I'm trying to catch up here. Let's see. MicroStrategy overbought, possibly not a good idea to get into it heavy right now. Yeah, I would say possibly hold off, see where it goes down to. Let me see if I can pull up MicroStrategy here really quick as well. I mean, it was down 5% today on the day, but it basically reached a high here, 227. And you can see that it had a pretty massive run up here over the last, since, beginning of the year. Ran up, came down, ran back up. But recently, what was this run up here? It had a huge run up since September, the beginning of September here, all the way up to a high, 100%. Yeah, it needs a little pullback on that. Bitcoin didn't even do that. Bitcoin's only like a couple percentage points. There was really no reason for it to run up that much unless it was front-running Bitcoin. But sometimes it does, and then it pulls back down, right, where we saw it here. We saw it also at other times as well, right? It front run here and then pulled back down. So, yeah, right now we might be in a little bit of a pullback on it to get back to more reasonable levels, I think. Okay, so there's that. Okay. Question, has the bull run begun? It appears like it, but only time will tell. Okay, Brad says MicroStrategy will continue to run, not overbought, just going to run less comparatively to miners which haven't had their turn yet. It might come down some more. I think it's been a little overheated here. We've seen it before, but you never know. It could still run up. Let's see. Miners have more risk return. The MicroStrategy, up to you. I like both. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Benjamin asks, how are we feeling about BitDigital? I like the fact that they're getting infrastructure. I've been talking about that for a while, that I think they should buy, and Sam has been saying that, they're looking to buy if the deal is right. It looks like this deal was right for them, so we'll see how the stock is repriced based on that. Okay, what else we got here? Sorry, I'm trying to go through. There's a lot of comments here, you guys, which is fine, but it just takes me a while to catch a question here. Okay, talked about that already. Okay. Well, what else we got here? Hold on. Okay, here we go. Question. Why do you think hyperscalers aren't interested in working or buying sites from BTC miners? I think it's because they aren't even aware they have access to megawatt sites. We are in the early stages. That could be a possibility there. But I think they are aware on this stuff, especially if they're looking at megawatts. They know what's going on in the megawatt space, more or less. They have people, consultants, and all that stuff that work on this night and day for them to find locations. So I think they know about this. It's just whether or not they want to buy a Bitcoin miner out or buy a site from them. I think the more likelihood is that they would buy a site out from one of these guys, especially from like IREN that has a huge pipeline, maybe even Riot, Cypher, TeraWolf as well. Cleanspark has some sites that are like 200 megawatts, 100 megawatts, but they're more spread out though. So I don't know how appealing that would be to a hyperscaler. But, you could do a lot with 100 megawatts or 200 megawatts. So there's a possibility there if the deal was right, if the money was right. I think it just depends. I think they like having more control over their facilities than anything else. Well, they just like having full stack control, basically. Okay. Okay. Ragan206 says, I got 25,500 shares of Bitfarms, boys. Help me. What is the number of shares I have now? Hold on. Let me look at mine. I know mine are up there. I don't know if I'm that high on as you guys are. Let me see. Where's it at? Drive. Okay. There it is. Let's see here. In Bitfarms, I'm close. 23,242 shares right now in Bitfarms. Cleanspark, I have 8,475. Core, 450. And Iris Energy, 5,779 is where I'm at right now with all this stuff. And I've been buying here recently as well, so I've been adding in. So that should be accounting for all that. Okay, let's go back to the questions. So you got me beat a little bit. Benjamin says, Seb, I missed your talk on Bit Digital. Can you please tell me your opinion on the recent buy today, your price targets for them, and are they very undervalued in your opinion? You're the man. You're real welcome. Yeah, so I think this is a good deal. It looks like, based on what they have right now, the 4 megawatts, it's like they're paying $10 million per megawatt, which is right around the ballpark of HPC or data centers, tier 3 data centers on it. But they do have more potential going down further into next year where they could get another additional 8 megawatts, but that's going to cost them another $15 million on top of that. So I think it's just a pipeline of availability there that they're looking at more. And then it also gives them customers that they have in there. You can read the press release. That's basically what I read over it. But I think this is good. In the long run, I think this is good for them. My only question was on the lease. Are they leasing the data centers or are they actually the owners of the data centers? That's my question there. But other than that, I think it's good. And they are undervalued, I think. They're not being valued on their HPC business they have right now and not really being valued on Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin part, I could see that. No further growth plans this year. They were supposed to get to 6 exahash. They're at 2.4, 2.6 exahash right now, whatever it is. And we don't have anything going forward for them. So I think they're definitely undervalued just on the HPC AI business alone, not counting the Bitcoin business they have. Okay. Okay, Wormman says, I don't think, or hyperscalers, I don't think they would be interested in most of the miners because they have so many smaller megawatt sites like this. Yeah, Bitfarms, yeah, they do, but they have some larger sites that are 100, 200 megawatts as well. Yeah, I would say I'm in agreement with you there. Okay. Em says, come on, Ben, deliver, please. Hive is outperforming you. I don't get it. Yeah, I know. It could take off like a rocket. We just never know. Okay, Benjamin says, I just bought Bit Digital today at 342, 3,500 shares. Mistake or nah? I don't think it's a mistake, but we'll see. I think it's undervalued from where it should be, really. Let's see. Phison, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right, is holding out for long-term gains worth it. I've been round-tripping since buying in Q1, Q2, contemplating selling into the next run or holding and selling toward the peak. Thanks, Seb. I mean, that's up to you, right? I've been buying into these miners since, what was it? January of 2022, right? And these guys have been dollar cost averaging into them. If we have a nice run up here where these guys go, 3-5x, heck, you might want to take some profits off the table because I think in December we might see a little bit of pullback, and then we might see a little bit of pullback after that as well before we start going back up higher into the following year. So you could possibly do that. Something I'm thinking about maybe doing, just taking some off the table, but we'll see where Bitcoin goes by the end of the year. Okay. Karen asks, what is the price prediction of Hive, IREN, Digital, Cleanspark, and Bitfarms when BTC is at 120,000? So that's a 2x from where we are right now, roughly. At that point, I would think the miners would be at least 3 to 5x on top of that from where they are right now. So if you think of like Cleanspark's at $10, something like that right now, it should be somewhere between maybe $30 to $50 maybe by that time. Who else did you have in here? Digital is a tough one because, like I said, Digital is undervalued and not being valued on HPC or their Bitcoin mining. IREN, same thing. I would think they would be like 3 to 5, so that's 24 to like, what is that, $30, 24 to $40, something like that, whatever it might be. Bitfarms is also interesting because they're not being valued equally as well. But they should be at least 3 to 5x from where they are. So we're looking at, if they're at $2 right now, $3.6 to $10, something like that, I would think. And then Hive, I don't know. Hive doesn't have a lot of growth going forward with them. So they do have a little bit of hodl there as well. That could help them out. I just don't know on Hive. But you could guess again that it might be somewhere between 2 and 4x because not a lot of growth there. Maybe. That's kind of the way I would think about it. Okay. Let's see if IREN's market cap is 1.6 billion. Future of 4 billion is probably more accurate for price. 4 billion. So you're looking at maybe 2x. I think it could possibly do better than that. We saw Cleanspark reach 4 billion here just this year before it came back down. But IREN growing the way they are in their HPC, I think they could definitely get more than that. Okay. Have you seen the lawsuit at Marathon's Granbury site? If so, what do you think about it? Is that the one about the noise complaint, where the noise is making people sick? And I wonder if Granbury is one of those sites that they are transitioning over to their immersion cooling, possibly. I'm not sure on that. But yeah, that's a tough one. I know how loud those things are, especially if you get a lot of them. We had 600 A6. They weren't the double fans or the quad fans like these newer ones. We had the single fan in the front and the single fan in the back of the A6, but we had 600 of those, and man, those things were loud. We were enclosed in a unit, so that was good, but we actually put up a sound barrier wall between our neighbor, so it wouldn't drive them crazy because of how loud it was. So we did that to kind of help with that, and then the doors were always closed. We had the fans running, so there was some noise, but it wasn't that bad to the point where people are getting sick. But if you have that many of those things and people are getting sick, that's a tough one. And if they can prove that that's the cause of it, I don't know. Definitely an interesting lawsuit there. So, you definitely want to be away from people, but I know it's pretty rural in Texas, and people have land around other industrial sites and things like that. So it might be tough. Your best bet would be possibly to buy these people out, maybe. Maybe that's what it comes down to. Can Bitfarms hit 250 when Bitcoin reaches 75,000? I would think so. That would be 11,000 more to go on. Actually, less than that, probably now 9,000. No, wait, we're at 66. Yeah, 9,000. It might be possible at that point we'll see Bitcoin going up and things improve. Okay. All these news on AI makes me really excited for IREN. There's no way they won't get an announcement for HPC AI deal. They will have close to 1 gigawatt of power online end of year 2025, plus Morgan Stanley helping. Yeah, there's a possibility there. Time will tell, I guess. Let's see. At what price should we sell? That's your own choice there as far as when you want to sell. Right? How much do you want to ride it up? Do you want to sell a portion of it and run the rest up, or sell it all? That's individual decision there. I can tell you guys that once things start getting a little too frothy, I will start taking off positions at 5%, 10% off here, and see where things end up at. I know I'm not going to be able to time it perfectly, but if I can get in before the top and after the top, I'll be happy with that. CORZ price target, thanks. CORZ also is kind of interesting there. Talked about this in the past, that they do have a deal, or supposedly an agreement with Block for their async machines, about 15 exahash of those. When will those come online? Not sure about that. And then we do know that they're going to be generating quite a bit of revenue here from CoreWeave starting in this first half of 2025. I just don't know exactly when. So that we'll have to see where things play out. But I think they should be at least, gosh, probably like around $30 with everything, especially once they start generating revenue from, the CoreWeave deal. Okay. Question is MicroStrategy buy at 200? I would not be, but that's just me. I think it's overvalued right now a little bit. It needs a pullback. I would wait for that potentially. But that's just my thoughts on it. Okay. Do you think IREN should use AI HPC to hold Bitcoin since their profit margins are so high? Yeah, but the revenue's not that great there. It's only like $1 million in revenue, plus they got to pay for the HPC servers. Those are costly. So it's not like they can actually do that. And plus it's going to take them about 2 years, 2.5 years to pay off those HPC servers. So, I mean, it's profitable, but you got to pay for those things anyway. Let's see. Still looking forward to $100 Cleanspark. If it gets there, that would be fantastic. I don't think anybody's going to be complaining if it gets there. Sean says, looking good today, Sebastian. Thank you. What is the number one miner you'd buy right now if you had to pick only one? If I only had to pick one, I would probably pick Cleanspark right now. Their track record, everything else, that's the one I would go with. Okay. Spin Second Serve says, I think Coinbase might overtake miners MicroStrategy as the best performing, with altcoins becoming more popular when Bitcoin breaks out. Your thoughts, Sebastian? Maybe. I don't really track Coinbase to see how they're doing compared to the miners or MicroStrategy even. Will they generate more revenue because of more interest in Bitcoin and the miners? But altcoins, possibly. Yeah, I just don't know. Okay. Pat says, I agree on IREN HODL. Might be pretty good short term, but that would mean more ATMs, which is a bit scary, huh? Yeah. Let's see. What color Lamborghini are we getting in 2025? Seb, I'm not buying any kind of Lamborghinis. That is, I mean, if you got millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, okay, buy yourself a Lamborghini if you can afford it. But, being up only maybe becoming a millionaire, a single-digit millionaire, I'm not spending money on a Lamborghini. That's for doggone sure. I want to invest. I would rather invest that money into something else that's going to generate more revenue for me going down the road here. Right? If I was younger, yeah, I mean, I would have been probably like, yeah, let's get a Lambo. But man, as you get older, you get wiser. Okay. Hello. So between Riot and MicroStrategy, which one would you buy? Not financial advice. Thank you. Okay. So Riot has huge potential here if they can get their operational uptime to more reflective of like 95% or something like that, or close to that. If they can do that, then I would say Riot. If not, then I think MicroStrategy is a safer bet. That's the way I would go. Okay. Price level of Riot if BTC kicks, I'm guessing. I don't know. Riot, like I said, just prior here, they need to improve the operational uptime on the facilities that they do have. If they can do that, then the stock should do much better. At that point, they should do like some of the other miners, 3, 5x, depending on where Bitcoin goes to 100,000, 120,000, whatever it might be. He says, Cleanspark is super undervalued. They are close to or even producing more BTC than Mara or better efficiency, uptime, and growth. The flipping of share price and market cap is soon to happen. Yes, I would agree with those statements that they are a better producer, they're undervalued, but I don't know if they're going to be able to flip them. Mara has just so much more Bitcoin HODL. It's at 26,000 right now, whereas Cleanspark's at, where are they at, 8,000, something like that. So they have basically a 3x advantage on them on that. So it might be a little tough there. Sadie, appreciate it as always. Thank you. Yeah, likes for Sebastian. Let's see. Let's see, Bitfarms should have fixed those miners by now. They got some rigs from Stronghold. They have been making some good decisions lately. New CEO Riot deal, former CEO settlement. Should we see a jump in their exahash? We should, yeah. But remember, the miners that they got from Bitmain, the T21s, were defective, basically. They were supposed to get those in September. They didn't get them. I'm guessing they're supposed to get them now in October. So that should be growing here in October quite nicely. Better. Especially getting a silver Shelby cover. Yeah, you remember. Yeah, spending 50,000, 40,000, whatever it might be on one of those. Yeah, I'd love to have one of those just as a summer car. You can only drive those things in the great weather. You can't drive it in the rain or in the snow. Rear-wheel drive, that thing is squirmy. I had a 350Z when I was younger. Boy, that thing, forget about driving in any like bad weather. Let's hear it. Question, I'm considering to hold CORZ Scientific for 3 to 5 years. Do you value the stock for its self-mining or HPC possibilities? Thanks. I value a little bit from both right now because they're, especially in the bull run here, Bitcoin mining, if they can get the 15 exahash either to install additionally or exchange some of the older machines that they have there and get better efficiencies, that would be great. And with Bitcoin going up, I think that could be a big plus for them as well. As far as holding them for 3 to 5 years, I think the revenue they're going to be generating here from CoreWeave in next year, starting next year sometime, going forward for the next, 12, 13 years, whatever it's going to be, is going to insulate them a little bit better than some of the miners here if we get another bear market, after 2025 potentially. So I would think that might be a little bit better hold there because they can generate revenue from their HPC and then possibly put it back into Bitcoin mining as well or do other things, things like that. Brad, his license plate, thanks BTC. I like that one. I may have to think about reserving that. What are the catalysts to pump Bitfarms? I think they just need to come out with good operational updates, hash rate growth, get to 21 exahash by the end of the year, all those things, and then tell us what their plans are for next year. We already know that they want to get to like 35 plus exahash next year already, but where are they going to grow beyond that, I think? Let's see. Tell the story of how you got orange pilled. Oh gosh, that was probably back. I heard of Bitcoin in 2013, and then I finally got orange pilled in 2017 when a friend of mine was making buku bucks investing in altcoins, Bitcoin, everything else. He kind of orange pilled me there on it, and at that point we decided to start our own Bitcoin mining farm along with Dash mining, Litecoin mining, Doge mining, Ethereum mining, all in once. That's kind of what orange pilled me, is that operational things, the way it all worked, just running that site and everything else. That kind of orange pilled me, and then seeing Bitcoin go from basically when we were starting out, it was like around $1,000 to like 19,000 by the end of the year within a matter of 5 months, 6 months. Like I was like, okay, there's something there. It's always done these kind of cyclical things from where it started to where it's at right now. There's something to it there. Okay. Hi, Seb. I have the highest exposure to Cleanspark, but average is 13. Should I still buy more or let it pan out? I would say if you want, you can probably buy more of it. I've been buying. I didn't buy last week. Or did I buy last week? I bought Monday, I think. Monday and Tuesday of last week or the week prior. Can't remember now. Days are a blur for me. But I've been buying here the last 2 weeks. I can say that for sure. Prices were a little bit lower than they are right now, but I still think that Cleanspark's undervalued from where it really should be. Okay. Here, let me see here. Ryan Buell celebrates 19 months of membership. Think we catapult above all-time high in October. Cheers. Ryan, thank you so much for being a very long-term member. Do we go above our 73,000 all-time high here in October? Oh, I mean, we're not too far away from it. We're 9,000 away. All we need is a couple more days where we're up 4,000 and we're above it. So it is possible. Okay, let me see here. Wait, how did that one pop up? Okay, we'll get to that one here shortly. I believe once miners can prove they can scale effectively and efficiently for AI HPC, hyperscalers will take more interest. Right now, it's so early to them to invest. Maybe, yeah, you might be right there. How many shares of each do you have? 23,000 roughly of Bitfarms, 8,000 something of Cleanspark, And what was the other one? IREN I had. Gosh, what was the number on IREN? 4,000 shares? I can't remember now. Oh, I've got to look it up. Bear with me here while I look it up again. Okay, pull that up. Pull up my spreadsheet. Let's see here. IREN, I got 5,779. So those are the numbers that I have there, roughly. Okay, there. Where do I want to go back? Okay. Nope, want to go here. Why did it go there? All right. Where am I at here? There I am. Okay. What are your thoughts on BlackRock CEO Larry Fink saying that BTC can be as big as the entire... Yeah, I saw that. The entire housing market, $50 trillion, $2.5 million per BTC. Oh, wow. I could see that. I don't see that happening anytime soon. So what I mean by that, I don't think it's going to happen within the next 5 to 10 years, but eventually past that, we possibly could get that high. Okay. IREN Culper report Bull S. They destroyed CORZ same way. I know it's old. Yeah, we talked about that in the past. Question: can you do a small video on MicroStrategy next time if you cool with that? Want to learn more about them. Victor, there's probably better outlets than myself on MicroStrategy that cover it and extensively cover it. Just look up on YouTube MicroStrategy, history, things like that. You're going to be able to find a heck of a lot more information than I can probably gather up here in the time that I do have on it. So, but yeah, there's just a lot of information on them right now as it is. So you're probably better off going there, to be honest. Okay. Bob says BTC may no longer have cycles. We may never sell if BTC goes to the moon. There's always people going to be selling, right? There's always price points at which point people will sell. Whether that's 100,000, 150,000, 125,000, whatever it might be, people will sell because that is a lot of times for these people, for folks, including myself, it's going to be life-changing money for us. So people will sell. Let's see. What is the biggest catalyst for Bitcoin pump poly market showing Trump ahead or China stimulus? It could be any number of things. It could be just the cyclical nature of Bitcoin, the way it's been going up. People are back from summer breaks, everything else. They're getting comfortable. They want to start making some money again, and they're pumping things. There's any number of things that could be really pumping it. And each cycle, it seems to be different, something different. Let's see. Kaz says, Bitfarms at $10 would be a dream. Still waiting for that. Me too. I'm waiting for it. I have a strong belief that it will happen. I just don't know exactly when it's going to happen, whether it's going to be happening in the next 3 months or if it's going to happen in the next 9 months or 12 months. But I think we'll get there potentially. You're looking on Riot for the end of October. As long as Bitcoin's going up, I think they should be going up as well, depending. Well, we won't find out until November for their October operational update anyways and see how they improve their operational uptime there. But they should be going up. Why is Riot not having good uptime for so long? That's what we're trying to figure out, right? They're saying that Jason's been saying that they know about the issues. They fixed some of the issues at Rockdale, with some of the older miners that they had there that weren't operating as well as they should be. And then he also said that they got new miners in there. They're also at Corsicana. They should be operating at much better uptime, and that they are fine-tuning their systems there to possibly get that. We've also had summer months, which normally means they curtail more in the hotter months, so that we should see much better operations here in the cooler months, fall, winter, and spring as well. But we'll see what they get to. Okay. What Bitcoin price do we need to hit to break out of the 7-month descending channel? I think it's going to be around 60. Where did I have it? I had it here. Roughly, let's go back here. Let's see. I had it. Where's it at? Bitcoin. Up top. So I think right here somewhere, right around there. So right now we're looking at somewhere around 68,000, like 67,800, somewhere around there, depending on when it happens. Could be a little bit lower. But I think once we get above that line, we'll start going back up higher to new all-time highs potentially. But we'll see. Okay. Okay, Gary asks, how can Cleanspark compete with IREN when their efficiency is 37 worse, 16 joules per terahash versus 21 joules? IREN has lower energy costs and they have lower stock-based compensation. What makes Cleanspark better? Their growth, right? They're going to be growing more, possibly. They're buying sites at lower costs as well. So, you know that IREN is building out sites, their sites at, oh gosh, what is that site? I'm trying to blank on it. It's in Texas, the big one. What is it costing? $650,000 per megawatt, whereas Cleanspark is also buying sites for like $375,000 per megawatt, something like that, somewhere around there. So there's those that you have to take into consideration. Cleanspark has HODL, IREN does not. IREN has HPCI potential. Cleanspark has not, and that. So there's quite a few different things happening for both of these companies here. Okay. Why is Bitfarms lagging? What price of BTC it can do? 12, I think, right around. It would have to be 120,000, probably maybe more, maybe somewhere around there, I would think. Okay. Hi, Special. Is it too late to buy Stronghold to get 2.5 shares on a small premium, save like 20-30 cents per Bitfarms share? I don't think it's too late. I think you can still buy. I think the I don't think, did they announce the date of record for the shareholders in order to be there? I don't know if they announced that. I don't think it is. Let's see. Sean asked, Sebastian, how many tattoos do you have? I got 3 when I was younger. Okay. How many Bitcoin do you have? Not enough, to be honest. I got some, but it's not enough. Okay. I said, what caused BTC to be cyclical? Oh, I don't know on that one. It just seems like the halving cycles. I think it's the halving cycles that we have with it that play on the decrease in supply. So it's supply demand type of issue. I think that's what's causing it. Okay. What's going on with Bitfarms price action? Yeah, it's underperforming. I know. Okay. Okay, let's see. I don't know if I'm losing faith in Bitfarms. I'm afraid I'm wasting time and capital in them with the others are moving now and will continue to. Yeah, that's always a thought in the back of my head as well, a little bit. It's like, okay. So the way I look at it this way, I have Cleanspark and I have IREN right now, right, which are really good miners. And then I have kind of like Bitfarms. Bitfarms to me is like this underdog right now that I think can do very well. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Cleanspark in the beginning, right, where they were the underdog. They came in from basically nowhere. But it's a different story between the two. Cleanspark didn't have all this, didn't have all these issues surrounding it with the board and the CEOs and stuff like that. Excuse me, gotta get a sip of water. But to me, it seems like Bitfarms is still an underdog in this sense, where I think it can do possibly pretty well if it gets noticed or gets Riot off their back. And who knows, maybe Riot's been selling shares. Who knows? I just don't know. Okay. That's an article by Morgan Stanley urging chief investment officers to invest in BTC miners. Morgan Stanley is also helping IREN, I believe, in the next few months, more and more institutions. Okay. Investing in the BTC miners. Okay. That's a little bit more risky, right? Chief investment officers, maybe at like hedge funds and things like that. Okay, I could see that, right? They could deal with the volatility in the miners, but I don't think you want somebody like Fortune 500 companies to buy into miners. I think you would want them to buy into like Bitcoin, things like that. But yeah, that's definitely interesting. Our continuation here. More and more institutions are loading up on BTC miners, which will create more liquidity and transparency in the BTC marketplace. Potentially, yeah. Do you have any idea why Cleanspark's trading below half price since the Bitcoin at today's price and shouldn't be trading near back to 20? That should be. But Bitcoin's coming down. They got hit with it. They came out with an ATM, right, 800 million, and this was back in what, March, I think, March, April. I can't remember when that was. Then it recently came out. They're adding more shares to their company coffers, basically. Not going to be used for ATM just yet, but they have the potential there. So I think that also drove the stock down as well. Just a couple of things here. Gary says, we have seen the results of buying low-quality facilities with Mara, Riot, past performance. Quality sites will probably pay off on a reliable over time. Yeah, so you're talking about IREN there, building instead of Cleanspark. But Cleanspark has been doing their due diligence, and before Marathon was hosting with somebody else, and they had machines there, so it's kind of why they bought the facilities there, but they were, had some crappy transformers there from China or something like that. And that's a result of it. And whereas Cleanspark is doing their due diligence before they get into a bed with somebody on that. So I think there's a little bit of difference there. What are the cons of Mara? Historically, it's been their operational uptime. It's been kind of all over the place. They've had several good months and several bad months. So that's the only con there that I can see with them is their operational uptime. Historically has not been steady. What else? They've done much better in the operation side of things as far as growth here recently, which is good to see. They got that on track. But that's the only kind I can think of Mara right now. How much is Cleanspark undervalued? I think they should be definitely higher from where they are. I think they should be probably around $18 to $20 right now, to be honest. Okay. We should check Riot to see if they have been selling Bitfarms. Yeah, I don't know if we can see that. I think they would have to report that also, right? If they've been selling, but I'm not sure if that's the case. I'm pretty sure you have to report it when you're buying a company's shares to get a certain percentage of it, but I don't know if you have to report it when you're selling it. Okay, Eddie says, I hope the stupid lawsuit that IREN has to deal with doesn't cost them too much and will create a short squeeze in the future. Also hope they can resolve it and issue a statement. Yeah, that would be great. And that's just based on the short report that came out on them, and then how law firms are. They're going to start looking for people to get on a class action lawsuit because of it, because of the accusations there. How much truth is there? I don't know. I doubt very little, probably. Okay. What conditions do you think have to exist for institutions to up their investment in Bitfarms to around 46% instead of the 23% currently? Oh wow. I mean, I think a lot of the things have been already cleared up on them. Let me see, where do I have them here? Bitfarms. Let me look it up really quick. Have we seen growth in them here recently? No, we've been kind of stuck at 23%, 21, 23% on them. You can see it here. Number of institutions have been increasing. Shares have been increasing as well, right? That's owned. They've also been diluting. But the good thing here is we've had recently a pretty sizable increase in the strong buy ratings for them, 5 now. 1 buy rating and then only 1 hold rating on them. Price targets are still kind of low, I think, compared to where I have them. Well, they're kind of in line with what I have for them for Bitfarms. $4 to $6. They're $5 right now. But that's based on previous numbers, right? Q1, last 3 quarters plus the current quarter that we just finished in September numbers. And as their production increases, as well as Bitcoin price goes up in value, their revenues will increase, which then should yield them higher returns going forward. But yeah, I just don't know. Maybe the Riot thing is holding things back here. Maybe. That's the only thing I can think. Let's go back to the Q&A, and I think we're catching up to all of them here. May have a couple more. Okay, talked about that one. Okay, Paris says, is that 33% what was left of the ATM? What's holding the price down? Probably to fund Stronghold's acquisition. Maybe. That could be it as well. Seb, thanks for everything. You're very welcome. Thanks for coming in. XCO is out of shares and Riot cannot sell due to their recent agreement. Okay. So, yeah, who knows? Do you think IREN should do a counter lawsuit on Culper for spreading misinformation, or do you think they should ignore noise? Either way, they have proven themselves as a top miner. I would say ignore the noise. Has anybody really sued one of those short report guys? I mean, that's just their opinion, right? Can you sue somebody on their opinion? I don't know. Yeah, that's it. We'll call it a day here. It's already going on 10 o'clock here, so we're going an hour long. All right, so we'll finish this up. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming in. Greatly appreciate you guys, as always. I love having you guys here as well. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow should be interesting. I think we might have a little bit of a down day maybe for Bitcoin, but I'd be happy if we have a green day. I think we've just had 2 nice days here, really good days, and I think we might need a little pullback to kind of cool things off a little bit before we go up higher. But we'll see. And we'll cover anything else that happens tomorrow as well. But yeah, hope you guys have a wonderful night. Hope you guys have a wonderful remaining weekend or the week. And I will see you guys tomorrow. All right. Until then.